You designed these courses of fire because we were talking about that last week and earlier. How has your work designing these courses of fire, how has that been received by the shooters?
So designing the course of fire for Armageddon Goer Cup, working with Tom, working off his guidance. In some aspects, it's easier because there's a lot of parity in the field, top 40. When other matches, most of our matches across the country are not just the top guys, but also new shooters. So there's some more challenges in that aspect. But for here, you could put it on them, and they want it. They want tight standards. They want tight targets. On average, our targets were a minute to minute and a quarter, minute and a half at the most, across the board, 95% across the board. In some heavy, high, tricky winds with the storm system coming through. They can see the wind, so they're shooting blind, but it also improved the light for them to actually see their misses or their impacts. So as the master director or designer of the course of fire for Tom, it was phenomenal. I don't think people could understand the level of consistency and accuracy that these shooters shot this weekend so far.
Is it better or about what you would have expected having laid it out the way you did?
It is. I figured the winner off these 2 days would be in the 85 to 90% range. The winner shot 84.9%, so basically 85. But it was also set up for a little less wind conditions that we had. It's very similar to set up a golf course. How dry is it? How fast are the greens when you're cutting it? Being a master director in an event like this is very same, you know. But as far as the shooters receiving it, I've got a ton of compliments, not just from guys that made the cut, but also from guys that didn't make the cut. And when they're not complaining about it, that means you did as best you're going to get.
Awesome. Tomorrow is a new day. Everybody starts at zero. Same formula for success tomorrow in this 10 stages we're going to see, or a little harder? What's your thoughts on tomorrow's courses?
More of the same. However, what was printed in the course fire as designed, reviewing these 2 days, I'm actually in seeing how well their shooters are shooting collectively, and then looking at the conditions, which should be sunny, a lot less wind, about a 90% reduction in wind that we saw, especially today. We took off some corners, as I call it. Hey, instead of shooting a 1 minute square or 1 1/4 minute square, I'm now going to take that 1 1/4 and make it a circle. All right, same target size, but less square inches, if you will. So we did that across the board on about 3 of the stages for those guys tomorrow. They're tight. I mean, they are tight. So we absolutely want them to separate without getting so small that it turns into a statistical kind of luck type gambling type event.
Anything stand out that you would not have expected to see, or is this pretty much kind of what you were hoping for and proof to your design?
No, as far as the course fire, I did not see anything that we didn't expect. Doing this for so long, you know, you're plus or minus 5%, and that's where we're at, so that's a win. What I was surprised to see was how the shooters handled the pressure of just the event, just the AG Cup. Some guys that were just dominant all year, you saw them on day one. They're just like, hey, his mind is not right. They're a little vocal, potentially argumentative, and you could just see it in their demeanor, and their performances reflected that kind of distraction. And then you saw the guys that perform well and girls that perform well, and then you saw the difference in how they handled that kind of pressure. That's always awesome to see in the AG Cup.
Thoughts on the fact that the second place shooter overall for the 2-day standing with 3,000 in stage wins is a 16-year-old high school junior?
Yeah, and a female. It's huge. You know, as a PRS director and as a trainer, and, you know, obviously involved deeply in the sport, when you see that, it's like, guys, like, hey, this is a welcoming group. Yes, this is an aspirational event that is dedicated to the top guys, but our other 800 matches, that young girl started somewhere not very long ago. She dedicated, and her parents obviously, a lot into the sport and dedicated herself and trained, and look what you could accomplish. So not everyone has those aspirations as a 16-year-old to be that dedicated. Obviously, there's a lot of natural talent there. But gosh, if you're 55 years old sitting on the couch and watching this, guys, come out and shoot, because this is what it culminates in. But there's so much fun and so much sport along the way.
Got it. Good job. Thank you.
Yeah, man.
Cool. Too easy.
You've made it this far in the video, and for that, we thank you. If you're enjoying the content, please consider subscribing. It helps the channel and we'll keep the uploads coming.